You've spent decades chasing a number. You promised yourself, the moment I hit 1 million, I'm done. But that day arrives, and instead of relief, you feel dread. You start staring at inflation charts, worrying about market crashes, and then you tell yourself the most dangerous lie in finance. Just one more year. I'll work just one more year to be safe. Welcome to the one more year syndrome, a psychological trap that steals your time. Today we uncover why your brain is lying to you and the brutal price you pay for absolute certainty. Let's look at the cold hard numbers. Most people think one more year adds a massive layer of safety. But does it really? Imagine you've reached your target of $1 million. Following the 4% rule, this gives you $40,000 a year. Now let's say you decide to work one more year and save an additional $50,000 after taxes. Your new portfolio is $1.05 million. Your safe withdrawal now increases to $42,000. That is an extra $166 per month. Ask yourself, is $166 a month worth another 2,000 hours of your life? Is it worth the stress, the commutes, and the missed moments? For most of you watching, the answer is a resounding no. But the math gets even more sobering when we talk about the sequence of life. Statistically, your healthiest, most active years are finite. If you are 55, you might have 15 to 20 summers left, where you are physically capable of hiking, traveling, or being truly active. By staying one more year, you aren't just trading time. You are trading your best time for a marginal increase in a bank account that is already sufficient. The one more year trap often ignores the most important variable, diminishing marginal utility. The first $100,000 you saved changed your life. It gave you security. But the last $50,000, it's just numbers on a screen. It doesn't change your lifestyle. It only feeds your anxiety. We often obsess over a 5% market crash, yet we willingly accept a 100% loss of another year of our lives. That isn't conservative planning. That is bad math. If the math is so clear, why is it so hard to walk away? Because one more year isn't a financial problem. It's a crisis of identity. For decades, your value has been tied to your productivity. Your business card, your title, and your paycheck were the success costume you wore every day. When you hit your number, say $1 million or $2 million, you realize that taking off that costume means facing a terrifying question. Who am I without my work? Many of you have built what I call quiet wealth. You've lived below your means, driven the same car for a decade, and avoided the trap of lifestyle creep. But the irony of the quiet wealth mindset is that it makes you an expert at saving, but an amateur at spending, especially spending your time. Your brain has been in survival mode for so long that it views retirement not as a victory, but as a threat. You've spent years building a fortress, and now you're afraid to step outside the gates. This is what I call the fear of the void. In the comments of my previous videos, many of you shared a similar story. You retired, and by month 7, you felt a deep sense of emptiness. Why? Because you retired from something, but you didn't retire to something. Work provided a schedule, a social circle, and a sense of being needed. Without it, the silence is deafening. One more year is simply a way to delay the confrontation with that silence. It's easier to stay at a desk you hate than to sit in a living room and wonder what your purpose is. But remember, this true wealth isn't about having a balance of $5 million. True wealth is the ability to walk away from a situation that no longer serves you. If you have the money but lack the courage to leave, you aren't wealthy. You're just a well-paid prisoner of your own anxiety. You don't need another $100,000. You need a new mission. You need to realize that your work was just a chapter, not the whole book. So how do you break the cycle? How do you give yourself the permission that your bank account already has? You don't do it by being reckless. You do it by being strategically brave. First, you need a psychological buffer. Most financial advisors talk about a 6-month emergency fund. For someone facing one more year syndrome, I recommend a 2-year cash bridge. Knowing that you have $50,000 or $100,000 sitting in a high-yield account untouched by market volatility acts as a permission slip for your brain. It stops the "what if the market crashes" panic before it starts. Second, consider a soft launch. Retirement doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing switch. Can you consult? Can you work 20 hours a week instead of 60? If you can survive on $40,000 a year and your portfolio is already generating that any part-time income is just a bonus. This coast-fire approach allows you to test the waters of freedom without the shock of total silence. Third, and most importantly, you must build your post-work identity before you leave. Don't wait until Monday morning of your first retired week to find a hobby. Start that project, join that community, or begin that physical transformation now. You need to prove to your brain that you are still a person of value, even when you aren't producing a profit for someone else. You aren't retiring from a career. You are pivoting to a life that you finally own. The math is done. The numbers like $1 million or $2 million have served their purpose. Now it's time for the human element to take over. At the end of the day, your portfolio isn't the legacy you leave behind. It's the life you chose to live with it. Whether you have $1 million or $5 million, remember that wealth is only a tool, and time is the only currency you can't earn back. So what is your enough? Are you staying for one more year because you need to, or because you're afraid to find out who you really are? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm Ted, and thank you for being a part of this journey toward true freedom.